Bright Glass Gearhulk in top 100-ish ranked Mythic Standard. We're giving it another go. This is the exact deck I played a month ago, but we are going to make some changes to it after having given it a little bit more thought. This is a Toolbox deck, so it's fun to have all this stuff you could potentially fetch, but I think really we need to narrow this down a little bit and just keep the cards that when they come down, they have an immediate and fundamental impact on the game. So the best example of this is I was playing the Veteran Survivor. It's a 1-mana 2/1, which is generically a pretty good card on 1. At the beginning of your second main phase, if this creature is tapped, exile up to 1 target card from a graveyard. So it's like, okay, cool, this is some graveyard hate, we can throw it in. But the reality is, if you play Gearhulk on 4, and on turn 5 you play this, you don't attack until turn 6, so it's not immediate. And even if you can attack on turn 6, what is your opponent doing that your 1-mana 2/1 gets in unblocked, right? It's pretty unlikely that this connects and survives to the second main phase. So even though it's a good card on 1, we already have good cards on 1. Like if this wasn't going to make the deck anyway, it shouldn't make the deck with the Gearhulk if it's not going to have an immediate impact. By contrast, the Ghost Vacuum can be fetched, immediately come down, immediately exile a card from the graveyard, and there are like no downsides to it essentially from that standpoint. So I think this is the card you want to fetch, and we don't actually need the Veteran Survivor in the deck. Next card, Duskrow's Reliquary, immediate impact, comes down, fetchable removal spell, very good, we keep that. Hinterland Sanctifier, I think we keep, it's not as immediate an impact, but this is a kind of a counter to the Pixies deck. You can gain life, and it's also a rabbit, so it gets a little bit more slide there since it pairs with everything else already. Nurturing Pixie is interesting. Like, yeah, you can pick up the Gearhulk and put it back down. If we were playing lots of mirror matches, I think this would be better, but if you think about it, if turn 4 you play the Gearhulk, you now have a 4/4. If turn 5 you play the Pixie, pick up the Gearhulk and put it back down, you basically spent 5 mana to only add a 1-mana 2/2 to the board state and draw 2 cards. Like, you just played a Mole Drifter. Sure, it's a little bit better than that. Like, you're not going to hit any lands, you're going to hit some more playables, but the reality is that's a really big mana investment to kind of only add a 1-mana 2/2 to the board state. I think at that point in the game, if you want that effect, like, I would just pick 2 recruits and get a whole bunch of stats off of that instead. So actually, I'm going to take the Pixie out as well. If you want to go Bant, I think Mockingbird is much better because then instead of adding a 1-mana 2/2 to the board, you're paying 4 mana to add a 4/4 flyer, which is quite good. Plus you get all the effects off it as well. But we're not running Bant today. Haywire Might, I think we're going to keep this as immediate effect. You can play it for 1 and then immediately sack it for a green and exile target non-creature artifact or enchantment. I think that's good. The District Mascot, by comparison, is more similar to the Veteran Survivor. Like, you could fetch it on 4. Turn 5, you can play it. It can't attack yet. Turn 6, you could attack and saddle it and get the extra counter, and then like suicide bomb it in to kill an artifact, but it's a little too slow, and I think the Haywire Might does a similar thing but better. So we're going to take the Mascot out as well, even though it's a good 1-drop. It's just that we already have good 1-drops, so it wouldn't make the cut normally, and I don't think it makes the cut on turn 6. Basilisk Color, really cool fetch. Immediately can give Death Touch and Lifelink. It's kind of an extra fetch of Shelter by Ghost in a sense. It gives you that lifelink effect. And the Death Touch First Strike is brutal, and Death Touch First Strike Trample is really difficult to deal with. So this one is definitely being kept. And lastly is the Gold Vein Hydra. This could be like a turn 5, 5-mana 4/4. But if you want that, I think I'd just fetch 2 recruits instead. This is effectively 6 mana for, what is that? 6 mana for a 6/4 worth of stats. So I don't think we need the Hydra. I think it's a cool card, but kind of reduces the consistency when the recruit basically does it better. So these are the cards I'm going to keep for my original evaluation, and then we're going to make a couple more tweaks here. I think we need more 3-drops. This is a weird deck with 24 land. So I think we're going to throw some Hop to it in there. And I think I'm also going to shed the Bunnycorn for the Quest Caller. 24 lands can get really awkward, and the ability to scry here and there and also have a pump spell on a lot of the cards in the deck I think is quite good. And in terms of what else to cut, oh man, it's going to be one of the 2-drops. We cut a Shelter because we have the Basilisk Caller, and too many non-creatures doesn't pair with the Knight Errant, so I guess we're going to do this. It's so painful though, I can't even make myself do that. I guess we're going to cut, oh god, it's awful. It's awful. All these cards are so good. Oh man, maybe the Mentor goes. Maybe the Mentor goes. I can't bring myself to cut a Shelter by Ghost. I think it's too good. Okay, so that's what we're going to try here today. Just tuning it up a bit. Yeah, we'll play it live in ranked Mythic Standard. I think I'm starting the day today at like 123-ish. And we'll just see where the wind takes us. I was playing around with it a little bit last night, and I played 7 games in a row against Mono Red, and then 1 game against the Blue-White Pro Control deck, which obviously decimates this deck. So it was not a wonderful showing last night, but we'll see how we do today. In the comments section, oh, it's Wade Wilson. Graham Cornwell says, thanks for playing me 2 times in a row. Wade Wilson. I'm assuming this means he is Wade Wilson. Dude, I'm sorry. Our deck was really well slated against Sewers. And I'm sorry if that was miserable for you 2 games in a row. Let's see. We got some comments about me messing up the demolition field. Yes, they demolition field me. I did not have to search my deck for basic. I could have kept push limit on top. And I don't know, either I forgot or I wasn't paying attention or I was talking or whatever. I just made a mistake there. It seems like I made a mistake. I don't know. I'd have to go back and watch it, but I believe you guys, since it's much easier to evaluate these things watching it back after the fact versus in the moment. Skedaman says, hey bro, loving the content. Would love to see how you build Ketramos in best of 1. Been playing a deck with it in best of 3, but like to do some best of 1 at times as well. Want to keep using it, my boy. Keep up the good work and can't wait for the animated short. I made a Ketramos deck and someone replied. I made one 11 days ago apparently. Basically, what I think you... Oh my god, there are so many bad decks with Ketramos. This is the card that broke my back, actually. Hold on, let's see. We will keep this a little bit weird, but hopefully we can scry... We need a second green source as well. We're going to keep it. Ketramos is the deck that broke my back and inspired the series on, like, gentle critiques of other creators using busted and broken on really bad decks. Because there were, like, 5 videos out that said, Ketramos is busted. And those decks are some of the worst decks I've ever seen. I took 2 days off because I was so frustrated trying to find a good home for him. And I think the home I found for him was okay. Like, I bet you could go 50-50. Basically, I think where you want him is, you want him with, I guess we're doing nothing this turn. We could, no, we don't want to stack the village. Gearhulk should be quite good against mono black. I think Ketramos with Deadly Cover-Up is really good because it is a destruction sweeper, so Ketramos lives, but then you also get the exile effect out of the graveyard, and you can use the exile effect out of the graveyard to take key cards out of your entire opponent's deck and hand. So it's a really cool tech. Combining that with Cease and Desist is good. You can play it on 2 just to gain some life and stabilize against aggro. Turn 6, you can sweep all enchantments and artifacts, which is brutal against some decks. Like you just auto win some matchups. You can sit there all game and know that secretly you'll win in the end. And then it also counts as 8 mana in the graveyard for Deadly Cover-Up. So I like those 2 a lot together. And I think at least 4 Beza on 4 to stabilize, because Ketramos loses you life. Every time you draw a card off that effect, you do lose a life, which is pretty painful. So Beza, at least 4 Bezas on 4, and maybe between 1 and 2 Sheldreds you could shove in as well. But I like that Beza gives you the immediate value versus Sheldred, like, could get picked off immediately. So that's like where you want to start. And then just throw some lifelink or removal spells on 1, like Authority of the Consuls or Elspeth's Might. It's some more kind of interaction on 2. Like, Anoint with Affliction is a good exile spell that pairs with Ketramos. And whatever the freaking adventure is. Virtue of Persistence is the black? Does that make sense? That might be it. Because when it goes on an adventure, it is an exile. So it counts towards Ketramos' 7. And then I ran like 4 lockdowns as well, which exiles goes with Ketramos, and it's one of the best answers to mono red. So that's where I started. That's where I took the deck, and I was happy with where it ended up. But it did take me a while to find a good home for him. And God knows, don't shove it in the Roots deck. That deck has one of the lowest win rates on Untapped.gg. This is a really awkward hand. I guess you mulligan this on the draw, right? Even though Hop to It, Knight Errant is busted, it's almost keepable. If we draw anything other than a land, oh man. It's so bad against mono red, right? I guess we can probably do better. It's Oh, I hit the wrong button. Sorry. I don't know. I was adjusting my seat. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. We'll top deck a 1-drop or 2-drop. It'll be totally fine. Yeah, playing Ketramos in the Roots deck, we top deck a land. At least we're on the play. It'll be okay. Yeah, Ketramos in the Roots deck. The Roots deck is just like so hard to make good because there's no space for non-creature interaction and there's very little creature interaction. Opponent just passed to us. They gave us a freaking a buy round here, right? Oh, they're gonna reanimate Calyx on 1 with Helping Hand. Bold. That is what I call a bold move. Okay. Well, interesting. Even if they shelter here, I guess we have to block that. There is a question of if we even Knight Errant this turn. I guess if they don't take anything, we definitely do, because we can shelter as well. This is the weirdest freaking deck, dude. They do tap out, so we're pretty golden here. They don't even attack. Okay. So I think we Knight Errant and shelter the Calyx away before our life gets any harder. Because if we play the Sanctifier, another enchanted creature does combat damage to a player. Yeah, I think we're just taking the Calyx here. True. If they want a helping hand it that bad, let's take it away. Yeah, Roots deck is really hard to build because the creature interaction isn't that good, but you need creatures to make it work. And so, yeah, there are several decks that are like, this deck is so busted. And it's one of the worst performing decks in all of Standard. If you look at the win rates, Ketchermos Roots is just, it's like close to 40%, maybe it's like 45. It's like well in the red. It's so bad. Okay, that's a big first striker. We do have lifelink though. So now what? We just go crazy with the bunnies, yeah? How much white do we need? 21, 22, 23. Knight Errant. Probably leave the 7/7s back to block. We're not going to block with our shelter. No Gearhulks. That's okay. We're definitely doing well here. I mean, the 8/8s are massive at this point. They're playing green as well. I mean, this is props to the opponent. Sure, they're playing Boros, which is annoying, but like clearly they don't have a full set of wild cards. They have no dual lands. They're shoving a Calyx in there. They're making Calyx work. Like, this is a cool use of clearly whatever wild cards they have, or like whatever rares and mythic rares they have collected. And they were either smart enough or interesting enough. So if they play anything here, we could actually not be able to trade. We could throw everything under the bus here and take 8. Do we just win on the crackback? We do. They only have white open. I think we win on the crackback just with trample. Deals combat damage to a player. You may create a token that's a copy of non-legendary enchantment you control. They can make another ethereal armor. Put it on the Calyx? It would only give it +2, plus maybe one more, +3-ish. I think we still win on the crackback, right? Even if they copy the ethereal armor here. I think it's no blocks. Drop to 15. They do get to copy the armor. It'll be a 5/5 with the scavenger trigger. Land is not so helpful, but that's okay. Okay, we got him. Rank 70 Mythic. Yeah. Let me not hit the keep button next time. But that ended up being okay against a janky opponent. XDD Blanket says, why Meticulous Archive over Temple of Enlightenment in a deck like this, the Pro Tour blue-white deck? I believe, I'd have to go back and check, I believe that deck plays Flood Farm Verge, which is the dual land that only turns on when you have a basic land type. And Meticulous Archive, for sure, is both a plains and an island, and I believe Temple of Enlightenment is not. I believe it is just a land, and so it helps you turn on your dual lands. That's why you would do that. If I'm correct. I'm pretty sure I'm correct, but I don't have Temple Enlightenment memorized. Shamanjo says, animated video when? I'm thinking 2 weeks. We'll see. I didn't make any progress last night because I was tired. Tonight, I got good energy tonight. I got more time tonight. I'm gonna try to finish the kind of the intro to the series tonight, and ideally start testing out editing the first episode. I have to see if it works first. Like if it looks like crap, then I might have to scrap it, and then I'll just release like the rank 1 video. Normal, just be a normal, hey, you know, epic run to rank 1, really cool, exciting, whatever. But I want to make it work. Also, I don't think my freaking Upwork animator has replied. I think I'm getting lower and lower on the animation aspect. It's also like, it doesn't have to be a perfect product the first time around. Like, it's okay to just test something out and just see how people like it. And if it does really well, I can come back and do another round, and that could be animated or something. We will keep this. So we'll see. 2 weeks to a month is what I said. And I'm sticking to that timeline. You come in on green. Hopefully they're single target removal Golgari and not like deadly cover-up Golgari. Ah. They are Pro Tour Golgari. So this is a Ghost Vacuum deck that we need to respond to here. So if we can fetch it off the Gearhulk, that's pretty good. And then we can just strip creatures out of the graveyard, which is what this deck is built around. So we'll see if we can pull that off this game. Franz2027 says, I've watched about 10 of your videos the past few days after being out of the MTG loop for a few sets. Your content is so much better than anything else I've come across in the MTG community. The only other channels I'll consider watching would be limited drafted focused content creators. All the rest simply pale in comparison. Thank you. That's very nice of you to say. For me. Less nice for them, but that's okay. That's okay with me. Hit him for 4 here. Honest level content with minimal nonsense. I never felt like I've been robbed after watching your content. Keep on doing what you're doing. Congrats on getting #1. All the best with the animated massive video you're working on. Thank you so much. That's the kind of comment that keeps me going. Like, I don't even think my push limit video is like doing that well. I don't think it's getting that many views. It's rank 10 of 10. It's of my most recent 10 videos. It is the lowest views, even though it's like top 20 Mythic. But I'm gonna keep trying to do what I'm doing because I think net it's a good thing. Opponent is beanstalking up. The question is, do we go get the graveyard hate? We have so much work to undo, right? Or we can just Knight Errant and just put on a bunch of pressure. I think it's maybe too late, honestly. What else could we get off Gearhulk? We get the single removal spell. We don't need that yet, though. That could be a good like play next turn. Because I think we can just bash our way through this turn. Basilisk Callers, interesting. Very difficult for them to block. The Might could kill the Beanstalk now. Or next turn. I think we'll get the Might for the Beanstalk and the... maybe the Reliquary? I'm not sure. I don't think we need to do that this turn, though. You come in on green, which is okay, I guess. I think we're going to hop to it Knight Errant this turn. And then next turn, Gearhulk, maybe plus like removal spell. See if we can hit a green 1-drop here. There's a green 1-drop. We could just take max power. The Quest Caller is so good, though. We might even go double Quest Caller here. Like, we basically win next turn if we do that, right? I think we do. I think you just go with this. So I'm not sure we get to show off the Gearhulk or not. We'll see. The game's not over yet. Dude's got 5 cards in hand. They take the chump block. We do have Trample. They're down to 11, and we're about to go double Lord this coming turn. They need a lot right here. I don't think they can win. Even if they played 3 creatures, we hit them for 6 just off the rabbit alone. That'll do something. All right, game goes on. Well played, opponents. Shelter by Ghost. Looks like lethal. Okay, we just top deck lethal then. We don't even get to show off the Gearhulk, sadly. But a nice Harvester pick by the opponent. That's pretty good against us. And swing for 13. Cool. M8 Baking asks about the Pro Tour blue-white deck. Couldn't the River Churn Monument help this deck? Help is an interesting concept. It adds an additional win con. In addition to your 4 Jaces, you now have yet another way to mill, and you can mill like 30 cards instead of 15 at a time. But it is a completely useless card until that moment. Whereas Jace actually can draw you cards in the meantime. It can plus to stabilize the board state a little bit in the meantime, although it's not perfect against mono red. So it has other uses, whereas Monument is completely dead, basically until the moment you need it. It's a cool card. I played it in my my Bant Subsunin deck. I went 2 Jace and 1 River Trend Monument. But the reason I could cut some Jaces is because I was playing green. I was also able to play the Beanstalk. So I had other draw engines. Opponent goes first. This is looking really solid here. We'll keep this. So, yeah, that was one of the interesting comments I made yesterday, is even though the original creator of the deck, which was Arnie Hutchinbath, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, said that he immediately subs out all 4 copies of Jace against Gruul. I did not feel like we could do that in Best of 1, because you just need more draw engines. Like, even if you watched the games yesterday, there were a lot of turns where I sat there and did nothing. I had no draw power at all, which is pretty tough. Go Quest Caller here. This could be the Pro Tour deck. They have no stick at all. That's pretty good. So we'll see if they follow up with turn 3 Lockdown. Turn 3 do nothing. I mean, there's not a whole lot we can do other than just shove damage this turn. Like, I think we'll hop to it here and save the Recruit as the follow-up. There is stick now, whereas there was not stick on 2, so they could have like 3 steps ahead here. They do? That means they're not sweeping. I don't think they would counter that if they could sweep the board, so this is good. Next turn, we could double up on the Recruit to trigger the Might Caller bigger. Or get the next Quest Caller down. They do nothing again. I mean, if they don't have the Sweeper, then going wide is good, so I guess we can go with the Recruit here. They're similar in power level, basically. And sequencing-wise, it's better to get the Recruit down before the Lord, because we get 2 creatures out of this. No counterspell. We do get our Scries. I guess we could hit land for the Gearhulk at this point. I don't need Shelter in this matchup for sure. I think we'll take the land. It lets us Gearhulk, which gives us like insurance against sweepers. I think in terms of fetching, I think we just go get more Paw Patch Recruits. And continue to go as wide as possible. Oh, baby. They're going to be potentially the Shoot the Flash Mind Splice Apparatus deck. That's really slow for us, which is good because we're about to win. Instant card or card with Flash. They can't get any sweepers off of this. But we'll see what they can do. This, by the way, is a very cool deck that one of you guys suggested that I play. It's kind of rare that I see something new that I haven't seen before, but thank you guys for suggesting decks. Like, sometimes they are really cool. Alright, it's Gearhulk time. They have an artifact. We have the Shelter for that, though. So I think we're just going wide here. Double Paw Patch, I think, is where we're at. Basilisk Collar. Haywire Might, like, could kill the 4/4 in theory. But I think going wide with the Pump Squad on the way is about as good as we can do. If we really want to double spell, I think you just take these. If we hit land, we can go Quest Caller plus Recruit. We could get the Frog to guarantee, like, Frog plus Recruit this coming turn without wasting the Recruit's effect. Ghost Vacuum showing up. I don't need you this time. We can offer the attack. They can block with the 4/4 if they want. They finally have a Black Land showing up, by the way. Alright, they take the block here. Sure, we do have first strike. How much do we over-deploy? At least 1 Recruit. We could also throw down the Ghost Vacuum as a weird win con. That gives us a different angle to attack them with. If we just play the Paw Patch... Depends if we think they have the Sweeper or not. The thing is, even if they have the Sweeper, we have the next Gearhulk. So I think we overcommit here. Normally you overcommit and you're like, well, either I win or I lose, but actually with Gearhulk in hand, even if they sweep the entire board, we just redeploy next turn. This is a cool game to show off the Gearhulk, I think. Okay, we go double pump squad here. Potentially swing for lethal. It's a whole bunch of damage. And single target removal is nefariously bad. Oh, baby, they have the time stop. Okay. Let's see if they can survive. It's a cool game. Two cards in hand. And instant. So they can go get the next time stop here for 4. And it would only cost 4. So they could run it back here. How many time stops do they run? In my version, I only ran 2 because I thought it was too greedy to run, 4. But they could be greedy. They could run all 4 copies of time stop, in which case it's tough. They're thinking, though. Totally fine. They deserve, if they're playing a cool deck in standard, they can have as much time as they want. No beef for me. They're doing it now at instant speed. That's pretty interesting. I guess it's still our turn, isn't it? Is it? No, they passed their turn. No, it's their turn. So yeah, I don't think you need River Return Monument in that deck. When I had other draw engines in my Bant Subsunin deck, I found space for it. No podcast here says, love the idea for playing games in character. I just think dressing up a bit might be a cheap way to do it with minimal animation investment. Final Showdown. All creatures lose all abilities until end of turn. Choose a creature you control. It gains indestructible until end of turn. For 6 mana, which is now 4, they can destroy all creatures. They're going to flash. They're going to flash the board here. So we do nothing before combat then. That's so cool. Dude, that's so cool. I now feel like I have to try this deck. Instant speed. I didn't realize there was instant speed 6 mana sweeper. Unfortunately for them, we have the ultimate follow-up, which is the next Gearhulk. And again, I think we're continuing to go wide. Like, I don't even think picking off the apparatus is that essential. It is an artifact. We could exile it. It'd be a big investment from us. I think at least you. We could also Haywire Might. How important is it? Is it sorceries too? Instant sorceries cost 1 less to get. The thing is, they have so much mana that I'm not even really sure. It's really just like a Silver Scrutiny that would screw us over. It's unclear to me if taking it is even relevant at this stage of the game. It depends if they have Silver Scrutiny or not. We have Quest Caller, we have 2 Shelter by Ghosts. We can take with Shelter by Ghosts, actually. Okay. So maybe we keep prioritizing damage here. I think we're just going to get a Valley Might Caller. And we can always just shelter this thing away if we want. Surveil land. 2 cards in hand. Creature land goes. One of them's getting cast now, though. Land is really nice. This means we can shelter. Let's see, they could have another flash. If they have a flash, I think we're going to try to shelter here. If they get it back, it resets it. I mean, do they have really have another flash removal spell in hand? I think this is fine. I don't think we lose too much damage by doing this. And you maybe draw out like a counter or something random here. 3 steps ahead is going to be really good. Because they get the draw 2, discard 1. Ho 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 ho. I think that's game. I think that's game. They'll play out, Can you use mana of any color? Mana is over mana of any color. I don't think we can win from here. And we just have to go as wide as possible and hope we get there. I think that's about game, though. I think they got us here. Swing for 5. Drop to 3. They play out a bunch of blockers. We shelter one, we pump board, and we hope that the trample recruits can get there. Like, that's kind of what we're banking on here. All of these creatures have trample. Like, we could win here. It's just very unlikely. Creature number 1. Creature number 2. We're going to have 11 points of damage. So if they have 8 toughness, we cannot win this turn. They have 10 toughness. We can take the mentor. They still have 10 toughness. It's very close, but we don't win this turn. Because Shelter takes the mentor. And then we would get the mentor back on our side of the battlefield, which is interesting, I think. Should we have white open? Do you want the scry? Or you want the extra trample damage? I mean, scry would technically keep us in the game if we hit another Gearhulk. We could prioritize scry over damage here. So if we hit them for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 damage, it drops them to 2. But we'll still have the quest caller left over. I think we're going to prioritize scry here. Does it even trigger on frogs? It doesn't even trigger on frogs. My bad. I think we'll double up here. Take the 5/5. Everyone's got trample. I think this is fine. And we weirdly have the Ghost Vacuum as a follow-up here. I mean, the next 4 cards are theoretically creatures. They could be all lands, though. Do you want to kill the Knight Errant or the Beast Caller? The Knight Caller is about to get even bigger next turn, theoretically. Actually, you want to do it like this because we have first strike. Because then we survive. 6 and 4? Yeah. Okay. Opponent drops to 1, and we have Ghost Vacuum. Can you sweep the board? If you do, I think we get back our rabbit on our side of the battlefield, because we sheltered the rabbit that they took from us. So it has to be sweeper plus another blocker. Destroy all tapped creatures. Okay. That doesn't solve everything. We get back our own mentor. We get the triggers. We get a scry. No land. 2 cards on hand, 3 more potentially lands, potentially creatures. And 2 of our creatures have trample here. We're close to winning. Opponent is also close to escaping. It is a very good battle. A Knight Errant. Hard cast for 5. We're so close to winning here. It's not going to take much. They're all tapped out. We'll take a creature. Someone with an ETB, yeah? I mean, the quest caller actually could be lethal here. We could take the Gearhulk. For 6, we have nothing else to cast it with. If we take the quest caller, I think we win on the spot. We pump squad. Yeah, I think we get there. Whew. I think it's just the quest caller, right? Nothing else is better. I think we freaking get there. That's crazy. The Ghost Vacuum showing up. Right? Let's see. With a flying counter. It's a 1/1. We get the Lord. We get the ETBs, but it pumps the quest caller to 3 power. Whew. Damn. What a game, dude. Trample there, hit for 6. Hit for 6 either way. I want to give them the good game, but you never know if they think you're being an asshole. So Zill wins if you watch this video. I just want you to know, good game. I appreciate you playing something different. That was a really cool match you showed off. Rank 51 Mythic. This is like the perfect time to end, but some of you keep saying you want longer videos, so we're going to keep going. I'm going to keep going. We could lose the next 6 games and it'd be like really anticlimactic, but damn, that was an epic game right there. Whew. I'm so jazzed up. I need more water though. I'm about out of water. On the play, looks good enough. It's actually pretty good against mono red even. Like we could slap an early shelter on a recruit. I will keep this. Fast land, 1 drop. Yeah, about dressing up. Dressing up also might be too cheese bowl. I think we can just run him down with shelter here. I think that's enough to potentially beat this matchup. We have the next shelter too, so I think the cost is low of doing the first one here. What do we need versus goblins? They have a good lord. They have a really good 3-drop. They have Krenko. So there might be better shelter targets, but yeah, that's a good shelter target too. Gearhulk on the way. I think we shelter again here. This is kind of almost an unbeatable start. They'll never be able to target through it. They can definitely block it, but Gearhulk could get us like either a lord to pump up the toughness. Oh, that's a cheap target, but you got to get 4 more mana for that. All right, welcome to the pain train. So what do we want here? Oh yeah, we can't get the lord. The Basilisk Collar is like generically very good. I kind of think we just need more creatures though. I feel like Dustcrow's Reliquary is going to be good because we can pair it with Hop to it and delete their 3-drop. And then maybe just Paw Patch Recruit. I feel like we don't need the Basilisk Collar at this point. Cool. I think it's looking solid. This turn we can hop to it and then sack it to kill like a really powerful 3-drop. Hit him for 8. No, you can't target it. Maybe that's their way of scooping. You need 4 extra mana to target it. But we have double shelter, friend. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, friend. Yeah, that's game. Maybe they forgot we had double or forgot it stacks. I used to make that mistake the very first time I saw shelter when I came back from like my year off. I actually made that mistake at least once. Because you hover over the card and it says like parentheses X2, and I don't think I'd never seen that before. Maybe I didn't process what was going on. I'm not really sure. But if you've been around a while, Lord knows you've seen Shelter by Ghost for a while. Dude, we were actually like crushing it today. How many games have we played here? I think we've won every single game, right? Have we lost anything today? I'm not sure. Let's see. Wait. Did I lose 3 games today? Or is that from last night? What have we played today? Am I crazy? Did we lose? I feel like we won a bunch. Haven't we ranked up from like 100 to... Why is this not showing... Oh, I don't think I can see today's stats. I think there was an arena update and it screwed up untapped.gg, so I can't see the stats from today. I feel like we've won every game though, right? Another comment from Daniels W. Go. Nice video, but it's too short. Wasn't this like a 45-minute long video? He wants an hour though. How long was my blue-white control video? Was it that short? It was 39 minutes. Okay, well, it looks like we're on track to go... We're at 40 now. It looks like we'll go to an hour today. Oh gosh. This is from Fat Lifestyle 2997. I was so happy I got a chance to play you in ranked Mythic today. This was yesterday, last night for me. My game name is Beckett, Standard Bearer, running Mono Red. Lol, it was a great game, and I was truly surprised I was able to beat you. Great game, man. I love your content, by the way, and I've been watching your videos for a while. Keep up the great work. All right, the second half of that was nice. I was not so enthusiastic to have you be one of the 7 Mono Red players. I played back to 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 back last night. Jeez. It's great against Mono Red. It's got a lot of land. It's not awful. I'm glad you had a good time. I had a less good time. actually don't have any white. This is a terrible keep, actually. This is the worst keep I've ever seen. Whoops. Never didn't have it. I probably could stand to get a bit better at the whole talking thing. I feel like I've made several mistakes with keeps where I need to get better at the whole focus on different things at the same time. It's a new skill for me. As of what, like 2 weeks ago? Like talking and reading comments at the same time and playing. Yeah, no blocks. We have shelter coming. If they don't have lightning strike, it's pretty good for us. Or Witch Stalker Frenzy would also be brutal here. I think they just want to rage, yeah. Okay. Land. No lightning strike, please. Alright, annoying, but not the end of the world. The question is, who do we take here? I mean, double strike is insane, right? If we take the mouse, if we take the mouse, then we just take 4 plus this damage. If we take the challenger, we take like 5. So I guess, I mean, you just have to take double strike every time. The good news is we can run it back next turn for what it's worth. But, this could be the first loss of the day. Hit us for at least 4, maybe vastly more, depending on how many monstrous rages are in hand. We have 1 more shelter, and then we have a first strike. But I think we have to shelter this turn, because we might just lose here. Lightning strike, okay. What a great game of Magic, a classic game. Take 10, turn 3, even with the shelter. Okay. Anyways, Fat Lifestyle, if you're wondering how I felt about playing you last night, it was very similar to how I felt about playing against this deck right now. It was not particularly enjoyable, but I'm glad you like the content, and I hope playing Mono Red brings you great happiness, because it does not do the same for me. It's different. Your experience is, I play every day, and I play a different deck every day, so it, you know, frustration mounts if all I play is Mono Red, and it's the most powerful deck in Standard, then by comparison, every deck I try that's new is going to be less powerful, so it is inherently going to be more frustrating for me, because I am self-inflicting a, you know, a worse state for myself. I am choosing to play a worse deck than optimal, and so I will always know that I'm coming in at a deficit. It's interesting, like other games, I think you could play the same deck, or like the same strategy every day and still be entertaining. I don't know if you guys watch or play League of Legends, but it's like a 5-on-5 skill fighting game. I'm not really sure what to call it. But I think the mechanics are complicated enough that you could play the same character every single day all year long, and I think your audience will still be entertained. There's a character called Zed. He's like an assassin. He can like teleport places and throw shurikens from himself and also his shadow and stuff like that. And he, at least from a beginner's standpoint, he seems quite complicated to play, and I'm very impressed by anyone who can play them. And I think if they played that character every single day and were very mechanically skilled, I don't think I'd get bored. But with Magic the Gathering, I can't play Mono Red every day. It's not interesting. It's not interesting enough, for sure. It's not even close to interesting enough to play it every day. So that puts you in the position where like you are playing different stuff for the most time. And you know, obviously there can only be one best deck. Oh, this is a great comment, actually. From Paratroopin, love the content. Love the control videos. Constructive criticism. Maybe add an outro scene to your videos. The YouTube suggestions at the end block whatever you're trying to show us. Cheers. Thank you so much for this. I used to have it on the bottom with an outro screen, and then I realized that it was blocking my face. So I moved it to the top, and I did not think that would then, of course, block the cards. I'm assuming that's what you're experiencing. So for this video you're watching today, I will be thoughtful about that. It's better if it blocks my face than if it blocks the deck, if I do like an outro deck talk type thing. So thank you for the constructive criticism. I do appreciate it, especially when it's actionable like this. If it's just like you suck, or like your videos suck, or your audio sucks, or your frame rate sucks. I guess frame rate is maybe actionable, but if it's unactionable, it's not really helpful. But when it is actual like this, that is quite helpful. We're on the play. I'm looking at what we have. Our mana base is good this time. Even though I'm talking, we're getting it right. We go Might Color on 1. Just a super clean, classic Rabbity hand. Okay. Here comes a 2-drop for you. I do not sense any stick with my Spidey sense. It is slow mono red. Oh, that's cool. So do we Knight Errant here? I think so. I don't know if I get the recruit or not. I think we could, honestly. We will likely hit something else, right? You can go to the bottom because we're about to dig through time here. Yeah, I think we'll play this out. Yeah, I think you're a good fetch. I don't think I'm going to bin that. I think we'll maximize our chances of getting 2 Face Scoop. Okay, good play. 48 Mythic. Dude, we are cruising with this deck today. Absolutely cruising. I think the Mind Splice was such a cool showing for the deck because otherwise, I feel like most of the games we played, you could make the argument like, okay, well, this is cool, but like just play rabbits instead, right? But the game against the Mind Splice, the Gearhulk really shone as an anti-sweeper tech. I mean, it's kind of similar to the Knight Errant in that sense. I think both fill kind of a similar role. Although perhaps, I mean, Gearhulk is more consistent in that inherently you know exactly what you're going to get. But it was really cool that we could play through at least one sweeper and still be able to rebuild the entire board. So I liked that a lot. Otherwise, like just play rabbits is kind of a counter argument to playing this version of the deck. All right, Juan Carlos Escaveria says, damn, I looked up John Bartholomew and I do see the resemblance. All right, I looked him up too yesterday. Y'all better not be calling me ugly. That's all I have to say. John Bartholomew. I think some of his pictures, he looks like a handsome man. I can understand why you'd say the resemblance. In some photos, though, I don't think he looks particularly flattering. And so if that's the comparison you're making, I am not super pleased with that. And others, I think he could be a handsome man. But if you're calling me ugly, I am not so enthusiastic about this comment. I don't think I'm ugly. But I do understand why someone would make this comparison. I've not watched him speak. I don't know if there's any cadence similarities. I'm going to take it as a compliment. Oh, this is also a really cool comment. Duke K 56115 at the 8-minute and 27-minute mark, 8:27 of the Breaking Subsunin video. It says, that's the first time I've realized that any counters matter on the slasher. I wonder if there's a spicy way to put +1/+1 counters on it just to force the permadeath. Probably too clunky. I didn't realize that either. On the play with no interaction here, or like no ability to do anything for the first couple turns, this is probably a mulligan. It's just, we do nothing. This is better. Definitely keep it. I mean, you honestly probably put back the Gearhulk. We just don't have enough lands. Sadly. I did not realize that either. Apparently, any counter on the slasher, if it dies, it does not come back. We'll have to look it up here real quick. Scamp. Hopefully hit one more land for hop to it. Unstoppable slasher. So that card reads, when Unstoppable Slasher dies, if it had no counters on it, we're just not blocking here, right? It's just never profitable to block, basically. And we have Knight Errant, so we desperately need our creatures too. It's not ideal. Felonless Rage. It's a 3/1. Take the damage. They sack it. They get a 2/2. It's kind of got to be sheltered by Ghost off the top. Hop to it's maybe not awful if they don't have trample. Oh, they killed a quest caller. Maybe. Honestly, I think I prefer that. I'm not sure. We don't hit the land. We could Haymire White Might and sack it to gain the 2 life immediately. I mean, at least we pretend to block here, right? They don't have to have the nuts. Who's to say? Maybe they don't have any more. Nope, they do. We take what, 6 more here? 7 more? Take 7 more here. Take 10 more. Drop to 5. Cool. Almost dead. There's not even... Yeah. Just like... Damn. It's just like... Fuck. There's no interaction. There's like nothing to do. It's not a good game design, in my opinion. How are we doing on time? We're at 50 minutes. You guys want an hour. We'll do one more. Try to get to like 55 minutes, and then we'll cut it there. I don't think video should be over an hour, though. I feel like over an hour is too daunting to click upon. So I think we aspire to under 1 hour videos. I think that should be the goal. Anyway, when Unstoppable Slasher dies, if it had no counters on it, return it to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control with 2 stun counters on it. It doesn't have to have stun counters. Any counters at all, if it dies, it will not come back. Opponent goes first. We only have whites here. This is not a good keep. I'm actively... Oh, it's Wade Wilson. Wait, we got to give Wade the thumbs up. Yeah, this is keepable, sure. Put back the Reliquary. We got to give him the hello. He's playing... Okay. We do have Shelter, although we are on the draw. Ideally, we wait to put it on the Mentor, as that card will get massive. These guys do have Menace, so we can't block even if we wanted to. And they burst lightning you down. Sure. I think our chance of winning this, based on our opening hand, is extremely high. But, we'll see how it goes. Hidden third land is nice too. Anyway, yeah, the Slasher, that's cool. I didn't know about that. I don't know. I guess the thing is, I have done that before. We're just eating it all here. No blocks. They're up to speed 3. They almost have double strike available. We could definitely lose here. I think we have to go hop to it and hold tight. We don't block the menace creatures very well, if at all. And next turn we have to go Shelter plus Knight Errant. Attack with the Mentor, basically. Or even hold back with the Mentor. Is maybe acceptable as well. Whew. Okay, Wade Wilson getting his revenge here. 1 card left in hand. Squee gets in there. I think we're taking the block here. We can't block you. I think we're just hoping he doesn't have pump spells. If he does, he wins the game. But I think we have to play as if he doesn't have it. Otherwise, I don't think we come back. To 5. So we may have to attack you with the Mentor because of Menace. Krenko on top. That's not very good. Double Shelter is supremely interesting here. Is it better than just Knight Errant? Take the Horde Master. These guys have double strike, which is absolutely massive here. We could take both double strikers this turn. That may be essential. I'm not sure we can beat that otherwise. And do nothing this turn, or even attack is fine. I think that's better than Knight Errant. I don't think we're going to survive the double strike, potentially. So if we took just the Horde Master, they'd be 1/1s. They could make him 3/3 Menace. Double strike. One of them could be a 3/3 Menace. So they'll hit for 8 this turn, and we'd go up 5 to 10. It's really narrow. I don't think you do that. The question is, does the Horde Master go or both Menace? They do not have an answer to, I think it's both Menace creatures. I think Menace is kind of an issue, although we could chump block. We could chump block with the 1/1s. No, we need the 1/1s. I think we do this. Oh god, the draw value. No. Menace. That means we have to attack this turn. Alright. Let's get in for 11. Or sorry, for 6. Go up to 11. They could pump a lot of mana into this, which is not what they want to do, because they don't have lethal anymore. And we do get to Knight Errant. I don't think they can kill the Mentor here. Krenko. Whew. Okay. Goblins versus rabbits here, basically. The double Knight Errant turn. I think it's just for 3. I don't think our life linker is coming tapped. Auto tapper looking good. Okay, that's actually pretty good. We could attack here. If they trade everything, all they get back is the Horde Master and the Bastronaut. And they lose Krenko. Right? Otherwise, they make 4 goblins per turn, which I'm not even sure we can necessarily keep up with. I think this is the better trade. They eat it. We get a huge level of life insurance, up to 19. We can Knight Errant for like 4 next turn and try to hit a Gearhulk as well. Though with double trample on the way, we might just win this coming turn. I think we're pretty close just hitting attack all. 4 mana open. So they have 7 mana worth of... Sorry, 7 toughness worth of blockers. And we have 14 damage, so we should have lethal here. I don't think they can interact with either. I think we literally just spam attack all. I don't even think we have to... What could they possibly have? Nothing, right? Oh, they can make the Bastronaut bigger with double strike, but I don't think that matters. I think we played before combat. I think we got him here. I don't think I'm forgetting anything. Oh, you know what they could do? Witchstalker Frenzy they could do. Oh man, I didn't think of that. They absolutely could Witchstalker Frenzy with double strike, which means they could pick off this Mentor. So they block everything else. I think we still have lethal though. Unless they have double? No, double Witchstalker Frenzy is still fine. So my concern is they Witchstalker Frenzy the 7/7, pump 2 into the Bastronaut. It has double strike, so first strike hits, and so we never deal damage with this first Mentor. We're still heading for 9 trample here, though. Okay, that guy has trample, and they pump him in a bunch of double strike damage. But that doesn't matter. We're still hitting them for 7 unblocked trample from the smaller Mentor. Burst Lightning A11. Shrink the board. That's fair. I didn't consider that in the calculation. I forgot about that. Still looking like lethal here, though. Good game. Wade Wilson showing up. All right. I feel like that is the perfect out to go on. Wade Wilson, I'm again sorry that we did not have a fair matchup yesterday. This was a more fair matchup and a good game. So, well done today. And we finished. We ranked up from like 100 to 54. We won like the vast majority of games today. I don't even know. I have to go back and check. We could have gone like 8-2 or something. Both losses against like Red on the when they were on the play or something. I think this is a really strong showing. Let's do a little bit of an outro. I will try to move my camera and try to move the whatever it's called. The outro screen as well. We're at 58 minutes. Oh my god, I have 1 minute to go. Okay. I like the deck. It's strong. Gearhulk is cool. I like our changes to make it super consistent. We only kept the absolutely most impactful 1-drops to fetch. Ghost Vacuum never showed up. It could be too slow. You could fetch it on 4, and on turn 5, maybe your opponent's already comboed off with the Boiler's Awakening, or, you know, Oculus or whatever, so I can see that being an argument after playing it. Basilisk Collar, I think for sure you keep. Might, I think for sure you keep. Again, it was too slow against Beanstalk. Even if we fetch it for Beanstalk on turn 5, like, they've already gotten numerous draws. So I don't know, but it could pick off like a Binding, and I think the cost is pretty low. Reliquary for sure I would keep. Just a removal spell. Fetchable is very good. Sanctifier I think is generically good. And I think even if you just play it on 1 normally, I think it's worth making the main deck anyway. So yeah, I liked what we had here today. I think it's a strong deck. I think it's a different variant on Rabbits. Okay, I did not move the camera like I said I would. Yeah. I don't know if I have anything else to say. It was cool. Yeah, the Gearhulk match against the Sweeper deck was good. I think view Gearhulk as like a second Knight Errant. You know, it's lowering the power level as opposed to the Rabbit Lord in the 4-drop slot, but gives you extra insurance against Sweepers. So that's it. We're at 59 minutes. Have a great day. Like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you in